Welcome back, fight friends, to another edition of the Mighty Shoutout Podcast. Look who we got here. WBC Welterweight champ, Mr. Thomas Mandra. Do I got that right? Welterweight, right?
Yeah, welterweight champion.
Awesome, man. Thanks for among others, to be honest, which we'll get into. Thanks for doing this. Now, I don't mean to throw you under the bus if possible, but do you listen to this podcast at all?
Yeah, I've listened to a few. I listened to the one with Jake.
Yeah, that was a gooder. Always.
I listened to the one with Anthony because we fight before, so I skipped the part he talked about me. And then I listened to Coach, TJW?
Yep, TJ. Yep.
Yeah, and I like to hear just his perspective on weight cutting and all that, see if I can get any extra knowledge. So.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, the no knowledge came from me. And shout out to TJ. That guy can talk, man. I didn't get a word in that podcast.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It confirmed some of the stuff I'm doing is right, but it was good.
But before we get into it, the reason I bring that up, man, is now listen, we'll talk about Anthony Palumbo, but listen, that's down the road. We got something else more important to talk about. But if I had to choose right now, outside of Jake's in the Big Bad Show, you're the best 147-pound guy in the country.
I believe that too.
There you go.
And I think one day, like in the future, as I develop, me and Jake will be a good fight.
Okay. Is that something? And of course, I understand from a respectful point of view, but is that something you're gunning for? Like you would like to test yourself against someone like Jake, or Jake specifically?
Yeah. Like I feel like it's like actually at one point I think we were like gonna set up a fight through Kieran like years ago, like when he was fighting Muay Thai World Cup.
Okay.
And then it never worked out because I think it was during COVID. I didn't get a vaccine thing, and I couldn't get to Calgary on a plane, but.
Naughty.
I think one day, like I said, as I develop and then he gets bigger on one, I feel like if one starts doing shows in like Western part of the world, like that would be a good fight because we're both like Canadians. It was going to happen way back. I think a couple years, you know what I mean? He makes it like more of a name, and then maybe I get up to 1-2.
Sure.
A couple years, and then one day that we'd set that up.
Unfortunately, I did see that one championship canceled at another show in the U.S. Having a hard go of it, man. But man, I hope they keep trying. There's the talent's here.
That's what I'm saying. Like a couple years, right? Let everything settle. Let me get a few more fights. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the journey, not the destination per se. Now, real quick, before we get into how you found Muay Thai and all that good stuff. So I got to commentate the Road to One tournament, and I'll be honest, that was the first. Now, Canada's a big country. There's definitely a West scene and an East scene. But I didn't know of you before that. But I did know now. I'm just turned 43. I'm an old man here. Stephen Opong was your opponent, right?
Yeah.
Dude, now I've known of that name for a long time. And first time I heard of you, and I have to admit, after that fight, I've been following you ever since, man. Super impressive in that fight. Can you tell us how you got in, where you're from, your age, all that good stuff, how you fell into Muay Thai and how it became a competitive thing for you?
So when I started, like martial arts or combat sports, my dad put me in boxing when I was like 8 years old. And I did it for like a very short period of time. I have a brother, like I'm the youngest of three. So I was kind of always just fighting with my brothers. And there's a common thing people say, like the toughest fighters are youngest brothers.
Right. Yes.
And so I think John Jones is the youngest brother too. Like there's a lot of greats who are the youngest.
Yes.
And I was always fighting with my brothers. My dad like put me in boxing. I did it for a bit. My brother actually, like my middle brother, had like good talent in boxing, but I like stopped that. And then years later, when I was 14, I found Muay Thai for about a year or two, and I had like 5 smokers.
Okay.
As a youth, and then I had a lot going on in my life. Like I was fighting in school, and I wasn't like going to school. So my parents like, okay, I'm not putting you in Muay Thai for you to go fight in class and fight people in the streets. So I quit for about 3.5 years, and like I was going through my own things as a teenager, figuring out life. And then I came back to the gym. So I had a friend who signed back up, and my coach was like, "Oh, where's Thomas? Like yours?" Like, because he knew who I knew, like my friends in the area. Because Ajax, like we're like a suburb of Toronto, so it's kind of like a small little town that people kind of know each other on the outskirts of Toronto. And then it's like, "Where's Thomas?" And I was 18 at the time now.
Okay.
And more of a man. And I was like, okay, I just stopped training, like ghosted everybody. Like didn't explain why I stopped training, all this. So I came back, I started training again. And then my coach was like, "We're fighting provincials in 6 weeks." And at the time, I was like smoking cigarettes. So I was like,
not being a fight, living the fighter
I thought I was a
lifestyle.
tough kid. My mindset going back when I was 18, I was like, I'm gonna do Muay Thai like twice a week and lift weights twice a week. That's health,
Sure, sure.
And then
I mean, it's a good
yeah, and
start.
then I was like, yeah, and then he's like, "Yo, we're fighting 6 weeks. Like, you can do it. You fought as a kid." And then I was like, you know what? Like, I think I can do it. And I actually lost my first sanctioned fight. Um, and then that motivated me to. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, like, you can't be like smoking and like going out and not caring about like running and just doing the bare. I thought like if I just trained, I'd be good, But then I realized, okay, there's what you do outside of the gym is the most important part.
Right.
And then I went on like a 15 fight win streak after that, or 10 fight win streak. After that, I won nationals later that year, and I won TBAs like at A class like 2 or 3 times in the next couple of years. And then it kind of started falling into place. I went to school for like personal training, like a fitness program, and kind of dove in like to the role of a coach, and then kind of just developed the guys who were like me, maybe like coming off the street and they didn't know what they wanted to do. They're young guys. They need to put their energy somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Good on you, man.
And then like going to what you were saying about like the road to one fight, I think I won some A-class fight in Ontario that Kieran made like a qualifier fight.
Okay.
I think it was Damon Waitman and me.
Okay.
And then I won that fight, and then I was going to fight road to one, but it was a good fight. Me and Steven, it was nothing like my potential, but it was like my second fight without gear, and I'm getting ready to fight in one championship.
Yeah.
So it was like probably the best that I didn't necessarily go to the next level, and I can develop. And now since then, that was 2023, and now it's like 2025. I've had a lot more fights, no gear. I fought professional New York, here, Thailand. So now it's like, okay, now I'm starting to learn the game without the gear. Or even just learn how promotions work, right? Like I was always fighting same day weigh-in, same day fight. Now it's like, okay, these guys are cutting more. I'm fighting bigger people usually.
Yeah.
Like I have the size, but I mean, like I don't really cut like crazy. A lot of people will think, "Oh, Thomas, you're so big. Like you must have rough weight cuts." But I'm less than 10 pounds out right now, and I have 2 more weeks.
Wow. Okay. Is that right? Eh?
So I'm just a skinny guy. I don't know.
Yeah. God bless you. So just going back a little bit. So did you go from like, so I lift weights, I do Muay Thai twice a week to like, hey, you should fight, like, yep, let's go. Like you kind of all of a sudden just decided I'm competitive starting today?
No, I think like my coach knew that like this is how I'm gonna get him to get into this. You know what I mean? Like, and he could probably knew like he didn't maybe know I was like smoking or like whatever, being like doing like I was always fighting. Like especially when I was young, it was like you're 19, you just got legal drinking age, you're going out. Shit happens you go drink at a bar in a shitty neighborhood, things are gonna happen.
Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I was always getting in like these situations, and I think he's seen that before me even having to tell him that, and was like, I need to put this kid like to a task. And I've always found like that's something that keeps me like on track with fighting, is like I have a task to do. I have a fight coming up. It's like there's no time to do this or that, or I can't go see these people who might not be the best. Like I still have, like, you know what I mean? I still have love for everybody, but maybe some people are best to be around.
Well, yeah, and 2 points to that. Number one, and you mentioned it twice, and I'm glad you did because I forgot. But so I run a gym coach. I've been doing this a long time, and it's 18. Once that's the fork in the road, is once they're done school, at least in Alberta, and they hit 18, it's usually it's university or it's partying or it's a job. Like it's hard to really keep them. Once you have them when they're young, once they're 18, man, you kind of hit that fork in the road, and you hope they stay. But quite often, and I was the same. You go, you do at least me. I went off, I partied, I had fun, and then I found my way back, of course. But there's something about 18. Oh man, I forgot the other point I was going to make. But anyway, moving on. So, can you tell us where do you train? Who are you under? Who's your instructors? And let's be real. Let's tell us what you've won. Give us stroke yourself a little bit, some titles, dude. I wish to God I did not park right there. That sun coming off my windshield is intense.
Yeah, right. So I train at Ajax MMA. My coach is like Crew Andrew, or a lot of people call him General. He was amateur fighter in Ontario that's really well respected, and he actually started in MMA, but he
Okay.
like found Muay Thai later because I don't think like at the time he was competing, MMA was even really like a thing in amateur.
Right. Right.
So he fought a lot of kickboxing, Muay Thai, and found his way there. And then the gym owner of Ajax MMA is Crew Fresh, and he's like one of the original. Like I'm not sure if you're like have the info on Ontario Muay Thai and like its origins, but like
No,
Sushar.
I'm learning as we go here, man. But help me out.
Yeah, so like I guess master, like people would say, I don't know, Master Sushard
Yep.
was the guy who brought like Muay Thai to Ontario, and then my coach was one of like the first 5, 6 guys like
Okay.
under him in like the 90s. So he's
Okay.
been doing
Okay.
it forever.
Old school.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's nice because I have the guy who came from like sort of K1 MMA, and then I also have the old school like traditional Muay Thai coach. So it's I find
Yeah.
like it helps my style. Like I learn kind of quite a bit of everything.
Right. Yeah. Well,
That
and you
kind
know,
of
in today's society, today's fight, at least in North America, Canada, like you kind of got to be a little bit of both. And I come from like a karate background initially and a traditional martial art, and I like the culture of Muay Thai. Like I don't want to lose that. And and you're right. Like, but the reality is, the culture is it's more and more about butts and seats and you know getting and making fight cards happen, and so you lose some of the culture. But that's awesome. I like to hear that. You get to hear a mix of both for sure. That's great.
Yeah, and like and it's just even like the technique, right? Like a lot of like me, I find like people would say I'm traditional Thai style, but like I move a lot when I fight too.
Yeah.
Like I don't I don't sit there and check and be strong, and it's like I get out of the way of the punch and then hit them back.
Right. Right.
Or get out of the way of the strike and then hit them with your own weapon back. So I find like the unorthodox style of maybe some MMA guys, or maybe like not traditional Muay Thai, like adding with the like obviously knowing your good balance, stance, blocking. It's tricky then because then you can kind of do a little bit of everything.
Sure. And I try to, well, very similar. I try to get my guys doing both because what if the being hard, standing your ground thing, being a tank doesn't work? Well, hopefully you have another option and you can move. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed, right? Like maybe you prefer one, but be able to do both.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what my coach always told me. Like fighting is answers. So if you don't have an answer for something, you better come up with another. And that's why you want to have as much answers as you can. So I
That's a
can
good
deal
point.
with your jab this way, that way, another way. I can deal with your kick this way, that way. And you know what I mean? We always have more than one way. As in some people I find like this is the way I fight and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
Exactly.
like it depends who you're fighting. Even with the fight coming up now, Victor, he's gonna want to stand in front and throw hands. And I have good hands, so I'll exchange. But it's like I'm gonna stick and move, get out of the way, hit him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no point playing somebody else's game just because that's what you like to do.
So let's talk about that fight coming up here. So that's coming up May 31st out in Ontario. And this is your WBC title defense. Is that correct?
Yeah, welterweight title defense.
Welterweight title defense. Is this a rematch?
Yeah, so I think actually you might have
That's
commentated
right.
the first one in amateur. It was kickboxing, not Muay Thai.
Right. Right. I do
But
remember. Okay.
yeah, it was a good fight. Like I think I won every round, but I won on points. So it's not
Yeah.
like he walked away like super defeated. He just knew he lost on points, but
Sure.
it's like most people you want to win and you want them to be like beat up and battered and
Right.
they know who won that fight. As in he probably in his mind was like, "Oh, I just got scored on more."
Sure.
So this
Yeah.
fight I want to make it a little more decisive, right? A little bit more than just points.
So okay, cool. I like that. But I am curious. Now it's going to be 5 3-minute rounds. Do you feel that there must be an emphasis on points? Like the rounds are long, man. That 1 minute feels like an extra 4.
Yeah, for sure. And like points are huge. Like at the end of the day, if you're not always gonna finish people,
That's
so you
right.
got to make. And when I'm fighting, I'm like not necessarily keeping track, but like I'm thinking like if I land a kick and they don't answer, I'm like, oh, I'm up one. Like I'm thinking that in my head,
Okay. Cool.
or I won that exchange. So I'm still obviously always gonna fight like to make sure I'm winning
Intelligently, right?
rounds.
IQ wise, yeah,
But
smart.
it's more like he took the fight again, probably thinking like, oh, all I have to do is put it on him more. So now it's like, okay, now I have to show like why I'm better. I won the first one, but it's like, okay, now I'm going to show like you shouldn't take the fight a second time.
Right, right. With all respect, but I do agree that Victor is gonna, he's a pour it on kind of fighter. You know what I mean? He's
Mhm.
gonna come get you and pour it on, right? Um, now, going back a little bit though, you said you went on a 15 fight win streak. I'm just curious, what point in there, or was there a point in there that you were like, okay, man, I kind of think this is my thing? Like, at what point did you reach that where you figure like, hey, man, I'm pretty bad at this, so I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, like when I started, so I won like so in Ontario it's like C class, B class, A class. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's how it is over there, but
No, but
so it's
I
like
know you're referring to.
yeah, so it's like 0 to 5 fights, 5 to 10, 10 plus, and
I
then
love it,
like
by the way. Love that system.
but yeah, it's I guess you'd consider it like hockey, A, double A, triple A. You know what I mean? It's like a tier system.
Yep.
But so I started winning. I won my C class like fights, and then I did one B class fight, and not a lot of people would fight me in B just because I think it was like a lefty who's really tall at the weight.
Yep.
And so I went right to A, and then kept winning. So I was like, okay, like I'm going up the tiers, and it's coming together. And then I found like when maybe like other fighters or other high level guys would be like, "Oh, you have a lot of talent," and then it would just kind of sink in day by day, like, "Oh, I could probably do something with this." And then as I was doing personal training, I was like, I'd like win a fight or like whatever, drop somebody, and then I'd have like somebody with like their little like 5-year-old, like a mom, be like, "You're doing so good, you fucked that guy up." I'm like, people are rewarding me for like punching people in the face, elbowing them, knee. So then I realized like
I
this
used to
is
have to go to the office when I did this.
yeah. So it was like this I'm at least doing something positive, and these people are they believe in me. And then once I seen like I had a lot of people who are close to me like believe in the dream, it was like, okay, like I'm kind of doing it for them. Like
Yeah.
I always like now I know like okay, I have belief in myself, I can do it, but it really took other people to be like this, you're doing really good at this. I'm always like my hardest critic. Like I'll win a
Sure.
fight and then be like, even with Victor, like I won that fight every round, but I'm still like, ah, man, I didn't like break his ribs or I didn't bust him up. So it's like, you got to do something more. Like I'll never be satisfied with a fight unless I finish them in 5 seconds, which I haven't
Yeah.
done. So it's like, there's always things to improve.
Yeah. Beauty. That's good, man. Good growth mindset for sure. Um, do you feel Victor's going to bring anything different this fight as opposed to before?
Yeah, I think he's better. I mean, we both had a couple years, so like we're definitely better. And then I've only rematched somebody once in my career before, and my coach always had a good point. If you're gonna fight somebody a second time, they're gonna come hard, especially if you beat them the first time.
Sure.
Because they believe they can do it, and they're gonna train extra hard. They're gonna make sure they have a game plan for you. But I feel like I'm a lot better too than them. So I think I'll be able to deal with it. But honestly, I just hope he shows up, makes weight, and fights because I've seen like no promotion from him.
Mm,
He didn't really do the interview with us,
right.
and then like he's not really in Canada right now either. I think he's in Brazil.
Yeah, I
So it's
believe
like,
so. Just fought last weekend, I think.
yeah, and I seen he fought, so I'm like, bro, please come to fight because I was supposed to fight April, and my opponent actually delayed that for the Freedom World title. So it's like I'm trying to stay active.
Yeah, man. Hey, let's talk about that real quick. So,
Mhm.
Freedom Fight Promotions, Rami Ibrahim, awesome dude, love that guy, legend out
Mhm.
of New York. Um, so I was searching for this. So I see you're fighting for a world title, and by the way, that is. I understand it's a promotional world title, but
Of
in
course,
our
yeah.
area of the planet, that's a good title belt to have. Um, I'm searching, man. Your Instagram. I was like, what happened? I was really looking forward to hearing that. What can you let us in on kind of what happened with that?
Yeah, so I fought January 27th for like a qualifier for the world title against this guy Ethan Geffen in New York.
Right.
It was pro Muay Thai, and I won the fight. And we were supposed to fight April 19th or 20th, whatever it was. And then I guess he had some like contractual thing, or I don't know exactly what it was. They just said he wasn't good to fight in April, but he'd do it July 26th. So
Hmm.
fight is still good, but it's just in July, so everything's been delayed. And I did a whole camp for that because I was waiting for a contract, but I'm like, I'm not gonna not be in camp waiting for a
Right.
contract, not get caught off guard. So I was training hard in really good shape, and then they delayed that. But I'm like, you know what? Muay Thai World Cup's 4 weeks after that, or like a month, whatever it was, May 31st, April 20th, so like 6 weeks. So I took like a week, a little bit of rest, and went right back into camp. So I've been like 15, 16 weeks hard training, like making sure I'm recovering, but I'm in really good shape. And then I haven't really seen Victor like making any posts. So I was like, man, if this happens again, this is gonna
Sure.
suck.
Sure. Yeah. No, I hear
Yeah.
you.
I hope he
Um,
shows up. I hope he shows up and makes weight because rumor is it's hard for him to make 147. So
I mean,
uh,
he didn't he fight at like 170, like in Calgary?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like yeah,
exactly.
that's a big
So
range.
I don't know. I don't know what exactly is going on, but I do actually know Victor. Like I've seen him around because he trains in Ontario sometimes.
Mhm.
And he's cool. Like we're pretty cool. So I hope he shows up. Like because we've sparred outside of like our fight. So I'm like, okay,
Nice.
he knows like I'm gonna fight. He's gonna fight. It's not like any crazy animosity, but I just hope he takes it serious because it's just a waste of time. Like obviously I'm getting better training, but I need the ring time.
Right. Right. Fighters
You
need
know?
to
So,
fight.
yeah, exactly. And at a pro level here, it's tough to find fights like
Yeah. Yep.
and things fall through, and then it's like how much there's one professional promotion in all of Canada for pro Muay Thai, Muay
That's
Thai
right.
World Cup. That's it. So
Yep.
it's like how
Yep.
much shows do they do a year? 3 or 4. You might get on 1 or 2.
Right. Right. Everyone's gunning for a spot. Yep. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Um, Now, when you won your WBC title against Theo Tony out in Ontario, yeah, it was pretty wild situation to be in. I'm grateful to be there, but
Mhm.
as much as there was lots to talk about, I mentioned your post a while ago that you were like, hey, listen, man, if I got to fight it, paraphrasing, if I have to fight in a tent in the cold to fight pro, man, sign me up. Like, let's go. When's the next one? And I thought that was pretty awesome of you, man. Like that to me is a fighter's fighter. Like, yeah, I fought in a tent. It was cold. When's the next one? Like, good
Yeah,
on you, man. Good on you.
mhm. Yeah, I think a lot of people, especially in like the Ontario community that weren't necessarily involved in the card, maybe like looked down on it. And it
Sure.
was like, man, you guys like at least they like at the end of the day, Kieran and Mike, they did what they could with like the hand they were dealt, and they still paid their athletes, and like we got professional experience, no gears, and
Yep.
these other guys are like I've headlined like so much, like main evented so much amateur shows here, and like not saying like, oh yeah, I should be getting a big cut of money, but it's like these guys are selling a lot of tickets from people I have, and
Yep.
like making a lot of vendor money from like the drinks and food sold. And at the end of the day, we're the main event, and we're putting our bodies on the line, and I'm losing money. I'm actually paying my gas and my
That's right.
hotel, and it's like
Yep.
at least with Kieran and Mike, it's like here's a hotel, here's some money. We're you know what I mean. So at least they're doing something with it. It doesn't matter if
Yep.
it's a tent. And this one, it's summertime, so I'll fight outside in the sun. That's nice. I
Yeah.
did
Yeah. No
it.
kidding. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on, man.
Mhm.
What was that experience like? Like, so for me, I mean, I had the weekend was fine for me. I had the easiest job in the world. I sit down and get excited about fights. Couldn't be easier. So it was a fun weekend for me. But I explained it like to several people or even just thinking to myself on that fight card. Like we're in a tent. If you're driving by a road, you must think there's a wedding going on, not realizing there's professional Muay Thai fights happening there and broadcasted online in that tent. Like it was a pretty wild experience. What was that experience like for you? Just fighting and getting ready and last minute changes. How was that to deal with as a fighter?
Yeah, it was definitely like a lot at the time, like realizing, oh, we're gonna have to like warm up in the cold, and there's no mats in the back. Like I warmed up in like Nike shoes
Right, right.
and then got out there. But it was good because like even my coach was like when we go fight in a nice like a place that doesn't have to hide away to do pro Muay Thai, like we're gonna be like this is luxury. Like you know
That's
what I
right.
mean? So it
Yeah.
is what it is. And
Enjoy it.
yeah, it was good. And at the end, like I said, they did what they had to do. I went through 3 opponents for that fight too.
That's right.
So it was like they still found me a guy last second that was willing to get in there like a week notice. Like kudos to him. I don't think he had much like a crazy like I know he had like a bunch of like boxing or karate fights or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his Muay Thai experience wasn't much, but it was like at least they got me a guy because we went through 2 or 3 guys constantly. And
Yeah.
I've had that my whole career too, like amateurs. I should probably have like 40 fights now, and I only have like 30 because I've been on the scale. Guys don't fight. Like it's so much
Sure.
so much instances of people pulling out.
Right, right. And like you were saying earlier, no slight to Victor, but it's like, it's funny, isn't it? I always think of, like, I say this as an amateur, or maybe you're not an A-class fighter yet. You get hurt and you're just like, shut up, keep going, don't worry about it. But as a pro, when you get hurt, like, what happened? What happened? Like, all of a sudden leading up to camp, they're almost like a fragile, like, oh shit, don't get hurt. Shit, we need this fight.
Yeah.
So like you were saying, like, a lot of things happen. So no slight to Victor, but it's just, you just fought, you're on the other side of the planet. We haven't heard anything like that. Usually, that's gonna make you a little nervous.
Yeah, no, and especially that I've had like this happen so much times. Like I have a good, like, I always, like, no matter what the situation, when I was younger, like, I don't know if it was like what they say, like street smart, but I always get like feelings about things. And then they either turn out to be like partially true or true. And then like I've been seeing it, and I'm like, man, please don't tell me this guy isn't not going to show up or not make weight or whatever. But the thing was,
I love you, Victor. I believe in you, buddy.
Yeah,
on Fight Night.
Like I said, I know Victor. Like,
of course, he's good dude, great dude.
I'm not saying he's scared or anything. I'm just saying, like, please make sure you're on your game. You're ready to show up and you're ready to make weight. Because at the end of the day, we agreed to do this fight.
It's a big fight, man. It's a big fight.
Keep your word, or just tell me now so we can find a new guy. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, don't waste the time.
Yep. Agreed. So listen, I know we got things to do here. I don't take up too much time. I do have some questions for you though. Sorry. Before we begin again, give us your record and give us what titles you've won. Okay,
yeah. So I have 30 fights total. I finished amateur 18-2. And then I finished, like, right now as a pro, I'm 4-1, and then I have 5 smokers. Like the 5 smokers of my youth fights we were talking about when I was like 14. And like I probably won a couple of those. I don't know. One of them I fought like a grown man at 14, and he just beat the shit out of me. My coach was like, I knew you were gonna be good because most people would have folded. This guy, I remember, like, it was an opponent switch, and I was like 14 years old, and they're like, we have another guy. He's like 140, and I was fighting at like 125. And he had a full like chest of hair and a beard. And I was like, this little 14-year-old kid.
Damn you, punk kids.
Yeah. And I got in there, and I lasted all rounds, but he like broke my nose. He beat me up.
Holy Christ.
But that was a whole nother story. But yeah, so 18-2 amateur, 4-1 pro, and then 5 smokers. And then I have 10 titles, a bunch of amateurs, like Muay Thai Nationals, like Muay Thai Canada Nationals, Muay Thai Ontario Provincial, like Rise of the Warrior title.
Yep.
I have the WBC Amateur title, which I won at one of the Rise of the Warrior events. And then I won the Pro one against Theo Tony. And then I got a Thailand title in Patong, like Patong Stadium. So, yeah, like 10 times champion and trying to build from here.
There you go. Where did you train at in Thailand?
I went to Phuket Fight Club.
Yeah, how was that? How long were you there for?
It was good. I went a month. Really good. Like a lot of, like, you do your own work and then you kind of get like a trainer that comes by and helps you out. But it was like a lot of fighters. I didn't really want to go to a place. Like, I know there's probably more gyms you get more technical work, but when I went to Thailand, I was like, I just want like the sparring partners. Like the best fighters are here. Yeah. I want to move with the best fighters and see how I do.
Cool. And I was sparring over there.
There's like this guy Jaleel Barnes. He's fought and won.
Oh yeah.
Like the Friday night fights. He does a lot of the like Thai circuit though, like the actual like legit like gambling circuit.
Yep.
And then if you know, like there was that one girl from Alyssa Rodriguez, who's the champ.
You bet.
And then they had a lot of like Russian guys too. And I'm from like a country, I don't know if you know, it's Estonia.
Yes, sir.
Like my background's Estonian, so that it's was part of the Soviet. So they'd all think I'm Russian, and they're like, brother. Like I'm like, yo, I'm Canadian. I don't, they spar hard. Like when I was there, the Russian guys, and they don't even like. It's not like they're trying to like. They don't like they hate you or anything. That's just the way they train. They're like, oh, like fights hard. We spar hard.
Right.
And then I'm like, all right, that's how you guys get down. So it was a cool experience. And
nice.
With guys with like 120, like 80, 90 fights. And like I felt like I held up pretty good. So I was like, I don't need 80 fights of brain damage to like be able to compete.
Right.
Because I don't really feel like I don't see myself getting 100 fights. I'd probably do like 60, 70 max and then see where I'm at from there.
Just unheard of on our side of the planet.
Yeah. And I just feel like even like you don't develop that much if you're just fighting. Like you want to fight, readjust, reschedule, plan the next
Yep.
fight.
Yep.
My coach always like put that mindset into me. He's like I don't want you to be brain dead when we're done fighting. Like let's take the right fights at the right time and make sure we're developing, not just like, oh, you lost, let's fight next week to get that back. Because a lot of guys lose and they want to jump back in right away.
Yeah. Yep.
Like no, like you gotta work your game and figure out what you gotta fix and then go from there.
Yep. Which is why I do have like a not a love-hate relationship, but I see the pro-con thing with tournaments. Like tournaments, you get a lot of experience in one weekend. You got to battle through some injuries and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, you just had 3 to 4 to 5 fights in the same span, 3, 4, 5 days where there wasn't 3, 4, 5 camps, right?
Mm-hmm.
You bang off a couple tournaments, all of a sudden you have 15 fights, but really that was over 3 weekends.
Yeah. It's I find like the good thing about tournaments, especially when I was an amateur, is like I said, it was hard for me to find fights. Like because there's no contract. Like if a guy in the amateurs, like a guy gets a cold fight week and the fight's off. It's like, man, we're cutting weight. You're gonna get a cold, you know?
Yeah.
But at least in tournaments, it's like one guy pulls out, there's 5 other fucking guys
That's true.
that you're gonna get ready for, you know? So at least you're guaranteed a fight. But I agree, like sometimes the winner of a tournament maybe isn't the best, it's just the guy who took least damage.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true. Yep. All right, man. A couple questions for. I don't want to take up too much time. It's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I don't want to get both of us in trouble, man. Number one, what does a typical training week look like for you in and out of camp?
So out of camp, like I'm always training 5, 6, probably 6 times a week. Like the odd time, maybe if I have to go, like I have family that lives some like far away, so sometimes I go visit. But even there, I'm running, so I'm training 6 times a week. Just out of camp, more developmental. Like I'm having more fun, kind of coming in like, oh, coach wants to do this, we'll do that, or like I want to do this, we're gonna work this. As in camp, everything's planned day by day. Like Monday is hill sprints and drills, pads, and like clinch, and then Tuesday is like weightlifting, pads, drill, clinch. You know what I mean? So it's like every day in camp is a little bit more scheduled, and then I mean it's still fun. I love it. I get to come in and throw knees and elbows and kicks and sharpen my body as a weapon. It's a little bit more like tasking. Everything's drawn out. Everything's okay. Now you're done this. Go do that.
Everything's assessed every day, every drill, every technique.
Yeah, exactly. So still training's pretty similar. It's just intensity and like being meticulous, making sure every box gets checked when I'm in camp. As compared to like out of camp, it's more like I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna come train and get better and
put some tools in the toolbox and learn some new fun things. And
exactly.
Yep. Cool. You just kind of mentioned on a little bit there, but do you do strength and conditioning? And if so, how often a week? And again, if so, what differences have you noticed from before and after? Or I guess before starting and after starting.
Mm-hmm. So I do like 2 days strength and conditioning a week. It's like 2 full body days pretty much. I'm sure you know Scott McKenzie. I did a little program. I did a little program with him like a couple years ago, and it kind of gave me the format I follow. And I have some sort of a background. Like I said, I did like a college diploma in like fitness and health promotion.
Right.
So I like once I talked to Scott and kind of got ideas of like how like tailoring it to Muay Thai. So I kind of create like my own little full body 2-day program. I find like it's been beneficial. I might not necessarily, I don't think it really makes you a better fighter, but it's like my back and my knees and my shoulders are going to be stronger than like, as in if I didn't do it, maybe it's easier to like blow my knee out or tear something.
Strengthening the support system, really. Yeah.
So I don't really think like if you have a serious strength and condition, it's like me lifting weights ain't going to make me a better fighter necessarily, but it's going to like create a healthier body, which could lead down the road to me having better training. Then that's a better fighter, right? So
sharpen your attributes. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Should be important, but you don't. I just mentioned this a little while ago. You don't get better at playing the piano by tying your shoes. You want to get better at Muay Thai, do Muay Thai, right? All right. What's your number one go-to walkout song and why?
Go-to walkout song? I don't really have one. I
Oh, now you're
usually
on the
just kind of
spot.
whatever. Yeah, whenever I'm just like whatever I'm feeling that week, whatever I've been like bumping all camp. But I listen to a lot of rap, so it's usually
Sure.
some like street rap or like whatever it is, some grimy music, and then
So can you tell us your one for the fight coming up then?
yeah. So this is like UK rapper K Coke. It's called Only One. And it has this really cool like drop at the beginning. Like it almost sounds like I don't even know how to describe it. Like medieval or like angels or something at the beginning, and then this guy starts rapping crazy. It's gonna sound real good.
All right, there you go. There you go.
Mhm.
Get on the manager train. Get ready.
Yeah, yeah. Come on.
Uh, I tend to not want to do this, but if you win May 31st, who do you got your eyes on after that?
So May 31st, I have like yeah. So it'll be Victor, and then I have the July fight with that Luis guy for the Freedom World title.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm pretty open to whoever. Like I know there's some names. There's this guy Nico from Ontario that like we're gonna fight
Oh,
actually the one
yeah.
Theo Tony, and then that fell out. I think he got injured or whatever.
Right.
So he's a name that's pretty good, and I know I'll sell tickets because he's a guy from Toronto too. So a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I've actually trained with Nico. I've trained with Thomas. That'll be cool to see," you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a name. Anthony, like I'm down to fight Anthony again. I finished him, so I don't think it's really like the most like exciting fight maybe for the fans, but like
Sure.
a lot. I had people ask because he talked a little bit of shit online, and they're like, "Yo,
Right.
like, are you gonna deal with this guy or what?" And then I was like, "If they can set it up, like, I'll do it again. You know, I don't mind, and I hope
Right.
it's 5 rounds because I don't have the most like knockout power. Like, I don't touch somebody and they collapse. Like,
Right.
I feel like I can get that shot. I've done it before in amateur where I touch a guy and they drop, but I'm more like I slash you up 50 times and you
Right.
bleed out
Death by a
later.
thousand cuts.
Yeah. And so I find like 5 round fights are me. Like and my
Yep. I got
conditioning
you.
is really good. I don't really get too tired in fights. I don't really take the stool. Um,
Right.
so I feel like if me and Anthony do that 5 rounds, it's gonna be even worse for him. But I'm down to do it. And I think Kieran said maybe in Calgary because they apparently he can sell tickets out there because he has a lot of fans. So
Yep. Very
um,
true. Yep. Yeah. The
I'm down
Hellgirls
to take
Dragons.
a trip out there. Yeah.
So would you ever fight at 154?
Yeah, I fought 156 before.
Okay.
That was because I had a teammate who was in the same weight class as me, but we were gonna do nationals together. And then he was like, "Oh, I can't do it because I think like somebody close in his family passed away or something."
Hmm.
And then I was like, "Okay, I'll do 147." And then he was like, "You know what? I kind of really want to do this. Like, I'm in a spot where I'd like to compete." And like, and then I was like, "Okay, like you're going through a lot of shit, and I'm tall, so I'll fight. I'll go up, so we don't have to fight each other." So
Yeah.
I went up to 156, and I didn't mind it, but like I didn't even cut any weight. I was like walking. Like I said, right now I'm
Okay.
158. I'm 158 right now.
Yeah.
And I fight in 2 weeks at 47. Like it's not that hard, and I'm still eating lots of carbs. Like a little bit of manipulation of carbs, sodium, and like a fast. I'll be at 147.
So the
Not
reality
that.
is 154 is not, let's be real. I mean, you can do it, but it's not that realistic. It's not you where you probably feel fight the best.
Yeah, no, I feel like at 47, I'm just so big. Like it's fucking. These guys are like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
how does
Yeah.
this guy make the weight? You know, like so much people ask me that. Like, how the hell do you fight at 147?
Awesomely is how.
Yeah, yeah, and I do all right. Like, and the cuts aren't crazy. Like, I did same day weigh-ins my whole amateur career and like still fought well. But
Nice.
I feel like I've been weight cutting since I was 18 and I'm 25 now. So it's like I just have years of competing and dialing in how my body feels at this weight and like
Right.
if I'm training, whatever. I feel like over the years I've developed like a good system. I don't
Right.
have no nutritionist or anything like that. I've just figured out like my kind of way to get there and make sure I'm eating clean and it comes
Beauty.
off pretty well.
Well, and somebody who's continuously sort of checking in on themselves and unsatisfied with results until it's absolutely perfect. You know, that makes sense. You're going to tinker with things until you find what's happy for you, and nobody else is going to know except yourself.
Mhm.
Um, so you know, anyway, I guess here's what I'm getting at. I'm just playing fun little matchmaker. However, Anthony Palumbo, your 147-pound WBC title in what? And it can't be the same night because the rule sets are different.
Mhm.
And then I guess it'd be 154, and then another fight. his 154-pound Muay Thai Canada national title. Come on, somebody give me a paycheck.
Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, we could do, we could do 150. We meet in the middle and just bring your belt. Who cares about the promotion? Just give me it if I win.
There you go. There you go. But the reality is, between you, Anthony, Nico, I know spending a lot of time in Thailand, Victor, like there's sort of a dance circle of you guys, 4 or 5 of you that, in my opinion, there's sort of you guys, and then there's a bit of a drop off. No, and I don't mean any disrespect, but there's a bit of a drop off in the talent pool from you kind of 3, 4, 5 around there. And so, to be honest, I'd love to see any of those fights. I mean, whether it's Anthony fight you, or you fight Nico, Nico fight you, like, who cares? There's a lot of there's some good matchups there. But anyway, I'm just having fun picking some fights. But it doesn't sound like 154 pounds really should be where you're prime, right? Obviously.
No, yeah, I feel like 147's it. And then you're right. Like, these guys are all really talented too. They're good fighters. So I think we should set it up because it's going to be good for the promotions, as in they're going to get real good fights, and then it's going to be good for us. I mean, we're fighting the high level guys in our area, and it's the fights that people want to see. Like, I see a lot of guys are like they're not setting up the fight, or they're going fighting a promotion where it's like they're fighting. I don't even know who these guys are, and I'm not saying like I'm somebody who's big, but it's like there's names out there, like you said, there's 4 or 5 of us that are good at 147. And it's like in order for us to get to the next level, we're gonna have to use each other and fight and get better, right? You can't fight without a good opponent. So it's like all these guys, I'm down to do it because it's only gonna make me better.
Right, and I very much get the impression that as far as Muay Thai goes, man, you're all business. Like you want the big fights, you want to push ahead. Like you said, I'm not saying I want to. Nobody's. I'm higher than anybody up, but can someone who's consistently looking up the mountain as opposed to looking down, right? Like, keep going. So I agree. I think there's a lot of good fights there. Sorry, just moving on here. What would you say? Now you're a southpaw, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I assume so. I just want to double check. If I'm a brand new fighter, haven't had one fight yet, but I got one lined up. What are you, Coach Thomas? What are my 3 best weapons for a southpaw? Being a southpaw.
Southpaw, your left kick.
Yeah.
Your jab and your lead hook, or your left knee too. There's so much. The left side, I would say, and then your leads, like the jab and the hook. But as a southpaw, you're already at an advantage because everybody spars righties, like 80% of the time. So you're just already, when somebody spars you're hitting them on the other side. Right. And then also your power side lines up with the liver, and theirs doesn't. So you're already, so that left kick's going to be big. The left knee is going to be huge. And then depending your size, whatever reach, but I love my jab, my hook.
Yeah. Nice. Which often sets up things on the left side, the knees and the kick.
Exactly, right? So it all ties together. You understand it.
Come
on, man. How long you been coaching for?
A year or 2. I've been around a little bit.
A year or 2.
A year or 2, yeah. 12. Man, it's hard to say. I've been in martial arts now. So I think 28 years in May, I think, is Muay Thai.
Man, that's
this
amazing.
Month? Yeah.
I listen to the podcast a lot, man. You guys drop knowledge. I love listening.
I appreciate it, man.
Hearing your guys' perspective on Muay Thai, because especially like I found like you guys in Calgary, like the Muay Thai was better. Like a lot of the Ontario guys go to Muay Thai World Cup, especially when Muay Thai World Cups first started.
Yeah.
Or maybe not first started, but their first few shows, like a lot of the Ontario guys would go and lose. And then I would like keep an eye on that. I'd be like, oh, okay, these guys are like, I thought these guys were good, but they're losing to the Calgary guys. And then, so I always like.
Do you think altitude plays a part in that?
No, I think it's just it's like, I don't know if you had to use the term more like real Muay Thai, but you guys fight like no gear, quicker, like 5-round fights. I found like it's a lot of Ontario. There's a lot of politics. So it's like some guys in Ontario will have like a really like big record, but they never really fought like a high level fight yet.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, so it's like you could like it looks great on paper. These guys like whatever 15, 16 fights. You're like, oh, like 16 fights, a lot of experience. But then like maybe they've never even taken the shin pads off yet, so they go fight without shin pads, and that's what kind of happened to me. Even Road to One, right? Like I said, my second fight without shin pads, it's like you're gonna go to one championship.
Right.
You know,
right. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
fucking a little
the-
bit off, you know. So
Maybe we'll pump the brakes a touch, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I agree. Out here, I'd say like by your third or fourth fight, you're pretty much fighting without gear.
Yeah, which is good. And yeah, and like I don't, maybe just the training out there, the coaches maybe are a little more high level. I don't know what it is, but I found like when I watch a lot of the Calgary like content and the fighting from there, because I always found you guys had really high level Muay Thai there.
I think the 5-round thing has a lot to do with that.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure, and maybe the scoring's different. I don't know how exactly it's done, but
yeah, I'm still from like 300 years ago kind of scoring. I'm having a hard time. Like I kind of look at things through like the balance and the kicks score more than the punch, and which is wrong. That's not how it's scored around here anymore. But I'm having a hard time shaking it. I admit that.
Yeah.
The structure
I'm
of
kind of
the structure of the Thai scoring system is something I like. That's part of what I like about Muay Thai. As crazy as it is. Listen, man, I only got a few more questions left real quick. One, you get to choose one other belt. One more belt that you want to win. What do you got? Which one?
one more. I'd probably say one championship.
Yeah,
That's probably the biggest one right now.
Right. And as you mentioned at the beginning, obviously, maybe gunning down, letting yourself get used to the fight world, maybe one championship, and then fight Canadian, superstar Jake himself. That'd be fucking sweet. I'd love to see you guys go. I'd love to see that anyway, outside of one championship. But I'd sign up for that fight today. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. No, it's a good fight. Like I said, it was actually going to happen at one point. Like it was in talks. It wasn't going to nothing got signed or anything, but there was a name that got sent in inboxes, and you know what I mean? So it's not like crazy far that it's not crazy possible. Like it could happen one day. So
yeah, and I was just thinking that it was pretty much right there, that matchup. So now you have something to strive for. So I mean, I'm sure that would just help keep staying motivated and grinding. All right, man. 2 questions for you, and then we're out of here. Who's your top 3 favorite fighters of all time, and why?
Top 3, like of all fighters, not just Muay Thai.
Anyone on the planet, dead or alive.
Okay. I in no specific order. I'll go first. Thomas Hearns.
Tommy Hearns.
My dad. That's where I learned fighting from. My dad. He would always show me the old boxers, and Tommy Hearns is 6'1", 147, southpaw.
I was just kind of thinking, right?
When I was young, my dad was like, this guy's like you gotta watch him, and
he used that range beautifully, man. Beautifully.
Yeah, and I love the old school boxing. Like they didn't clinch. It was just bang out.
Yeah.
In and out. Like, so I love watching him.
Yeah.
Second, so first Thomas Hearns. Second, I would go Anderson Silva.
Nice.
Because I was like, when I was young, he was like huge in the UFC. Like he was killing everybody. So that's
living
what kind of
Matrix.
Yeah, and that's what got me into Muay Thai, because he was like clinching people and they didn't know what to do. And he had like amazing Muay Thai for an MMA fighter. So I got really into him. And then third would be Mike Tyson, just because his energy. Yeah, his energy is amazing. Like all fight camp, I'll like drive to fucking Mike Tyson motivational YouTube compilations and listen to quotes from him and get hyped up when I go to training and get in there and go crazy.
Nice, man. Yeah, you can listen to that guy talk for days and days, man. He's got a lot.
Yeah, he's an expert.
There you go, man. So Mike Tyson, Tommy Hearns, and Anderson Silva.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Decent list, man. Decent list. All right, last question. You only get to give one shout out on this podcast. Only one. Who does it go to?
Man, it's too much for one, but I'm going to do a couple shout outs. Shout out all my sponsors.
Of course. They don't count, man. They don't count. Let's hear it. Sponsors, shout them out.
Yeah, Infight Styles helped me out a lot.
Great company.
Guys
Love them.
in Scarborough, Clinch Culture, my gym Ajax, they've always helped me out. There's Astro Pink. There's a bunch of guys that stand behind me every fight camp and help me out. So nice. Those are a big shout out. And then just shout out to all the fans, everybody watching. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this. I had some people looking forward to the interview with Victor, so it kind of made up for it and gives them a little perspective into how we're preparing for the fight or whatever.
Yeah. And I wanted this, to be honest. It was, I admit that missed opportunity immediately became an opportunity for the podcast. I admit that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and it helped me a lot. Like I said, I had some people like, I was looking forward to hearing it. So at least like there's some content out, and at the end of the day, like you got to sell tickets for a fight. So it gives me opportunity to talk about the fight and whatever, promote it.
Beauty. Okay, let me just rewind that question. You get one shout out, only one. It's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day.
Yeah, of course. Shout out my mom's, man.
Oh, there it is.
She's out at every fight. She's yelling, and she always is there. Even when like when people ask her, like, do you worry about your son fighting? Especially when I was younger. Now it's like, okay, you're not gonna really control what I'm doing. But when I was a kid, like I was fighting at 14, or like I was fighting like 17, 18. Like, do you worry? But my mom would always be like, he doesn't really like get hurt like that. He doesn't really lose, so it's okay, you know. Right. So my mom never really seen me get confidence, Mom. Yeah, she's like, my son usually beats them up, so hey, he's okay.
Nice. There you go, man. Anything else before we're out of here?
No, man. Like I said, appreciate the opportunity. I hope all the guys we were talking about, Victor, you show up and make weight and fight. Anthony, probably see you soon. And then everybody else, you know, to keep training. If you're coming for me, I'm training too. Let's get it.
There you go. In the meantime, WBC welterweight champ defending his crown May 31st at the Muay Thai World Cup in Ontario. Other than that, guys, I want to wish all the moms out there. We're going to cut this one a little short. I know usually they're around an hour, but listen, I don't want neither of us to be late or we're both in trouble for Mother's Day. Yeah. So we're going to duck out of here a few minutes early, but I appreciate the time, man, and I can't wait to do it again. Win, loss, down the road. I'm a fan of you. I've said it many times on the podcast. And on the Canadian circuit, I got you at number one at the moment.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. It means a lot hearing that from you.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. Good luck May 31st.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Later.